Every day we hear more and more about fancier inventions and newer cars. These trends also happen to include hybrid cars. But life isn't rainbows and butterflies, and so is the case with hybrid cars. There are some pros to cars, and there are some cons as well. But have you ever wondered why hybrids get so much hate? Today, we're going to be talking about just that. Let's talk about the 5 biggest problems with hybrid cars, starting with the environment battery dilemma. Lithium-ion batteries are now standard in hybrids and other powered cars, although nickel metal hybrid batteries were used before. Now, the problem is that rare earth metals used in both of these battery types can only be mined in certain locations. After all, most bulldozers and other mining machinery run on diesel fuel, and these metals need to be refined in sterile, high-temperature procedures, which also consumes a lot of energy. The environmental effect of battery production varies widely, depending on where in the globe the batteries are manufactured. Chinese factories provide an increasing share of the world's lithium-ion battery supply. Beyond the effects of the mining process itself, MIT discovered that refining these metals often involves using chemicals that would adversely change the pH of water in the vicinity of the facility. According to the research, some fish can only thrive in water within a small pH range, and some plants only blossom within a particular pH range. The research continues by estimating that the Chinese refining methods generate 1.2 to 1.6 billion cubic meters of gaseous waste annually. It's predicted that these emissions will be reduced as refining technology advances and as the sector is more strictly regulated. Following up on that, let's simplify it a little. So if this is confusing, let us break it down. Prior to ever being driven, the production of a conventional gasoline-powered vehicle emits around 5.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide, whereas an equivalent electric vehicle emits 8.8 metric tons. This is a staggering number, but it's far from complete. There's a lot more to this story, and we'll be getting to the bottom of it. After all, when an individual buys and drives an electric or hybrid vehicle, such vehicle will use less petroleum than a comparable gasoline-powered vehicle. The hybrid or electric vehicle will produce 18 tons of CO2 during its lifetime, including production, compared to the gas vehicle's 24 tons. So it does end up balanced, but you do see the dilemma here. The hybrid or electric vehicle you purchase now should be more eco-friendly than the vehicle you could purchase a few years ago, and the vehicle you purchase in a few years should be even more eco-friendly than the vehicle you purchase today. So you might end up doing more good than bad, but that's still something in the future. Next up, high insurance costs. It might be difficult to estimate how much it'll cost you to maintain a hybrid vehicle, but one thing is for sure, it's definitely high. While hybrid vehicles often have lower maintenance and fuel expenses than conventional cars, drivers may find that their insurance premiums are higher. That's because hybrid cars have a higher starting price and use complex hybrid technology that might be costly to service or replace. The increased value of hybrid vehicles is the primary reason for their higher insurance premiums. The newest hybrid technology still commands a hefty price premium from consumers. You should expect your insurance premiums to go up if anything happens to your car, such as a robbery, etc. The higher cost of replacement components is another factor that might increase your premium for insuring a hybrid vehicle. As a result, if the vehicle is damaged, the cost to fix it will go up. Not to mention, CDG Insurance reports that the average damage claim for hybrids is substantially greater, making drivers of such fuel-efficient vehicles at high risk. Following up, there are other reasons too. The actions of hybrid drivers might also raise insurance costs. Buying a hybrid is a good choice for those who put the majority of their miles on the road during rush hour and who want to reduce their environmental impact while doing so. There are, of course, other reasons why insuring a hybrid would cost more, such as the larger distance covered by hybrids because of the cheaper cost of driving. Costly repairs are another issue, with professional technicians and increased component prices driving up the bill. Additionally, even replacement components are costly because of the declining market. Last but not least, there is a very small hybrid car population. Moving on, the battery dilemma. Batteries in hybrid vehicles are often weaker than those in conventional vehicles and need to be replaced earlier. Although drivers of hybrid cars often spend less on petrol, this expense may still add up over time, and it's good to be prepared for it just in case. A hybrid vehicle's battery replacement might be more expensive than that of a conventional vehicle. Because of the inherent hazard of working on hybrid battery packs, they're not designed for user maintenance. However, there are a few critical steps you can take to safeguard your car's battery that doesn't need any DIY maintenance. First of all, you should never dismiss the warning signs. If the onboard diagnostic system detects any of a wide number of problems with the high voltage battery pack or its associated components, it'll save a fault code and turn on the dashboard warning lights. Some examples of problems of this kind include abnormally high or low charging rates, excessive heat in the battery, etc. If a high voltage battery pack has electrical imbalances and is still under warranty, the dealer is required to replace it rather than fixing it. Having a high voltage battery pack tested periodically and having any necessary repairs made on time still provides hybrid vehicle owners with a very cost-effective technique of reviving the performance of a lazy battery, even if the warranty does not cover the battery pack. Not to forget, oxygen sensors. The oxygen sensors are prone to failures, much like those in internal combustion engine cars, which may have serious consequences for gas mileage and engine performance. An O2 sensor loses sensitivity as it ages. As part of your vehicle's scheduled maintenance, make sure the technician inspects your oxygen sensors. Preventing pollution concerns from becoming catastrophic is always a good idea. Fuel distribution and combustion would be thrown off if the oxygen sensor failed. Your vehicle's gas economy will suffer if the air-to-fuel ratio is disrupted, or if an excessive amount of fuel is fed into the engine due to a faulty oxygen sensor. An oversupply of gasoline in the engine may cause a sulfuric, rotten egg odor and can cause black smoke to be released from the tailpipe. Keep track of how often and how many gallons you fill up the car with. If you find yourself filling up your gas tank more often, check your oxygen sensor with a qualified technician if the readings are higher than usual. Next up, how do you know when it's time to be alert? There are a few telltale signs that your oxygen sensor is failing. Harsh running, misfiring, or erratic idling, loss of power, hesitancy, or stalling are just some of the numerous engine performance issues you could encounter. A harsh or irregular engine idle and other engine-related difficulties may be caused by a faulty oxygen sensor, since the sensor's output controls engine timing, combustion intervals, and the air-to-fuel ratio. Suppose you've noticed weird engine idling, poor gas economy, or the check engine light coming on. In that case, it's probably time to schedule an appointment to get your oxygen sensor updated. Better safe than sorry, right? This will keep your car running easily and effectively, and it'll also help keep your engine operating for a longer period of time. Finally, decreasing fuel efficiency for colder regions. Have you ever noticed that your car's gas mileage drops when the weather outside drops below freezing? That's because it takes longer for the vehicle to warm up, and the performance hit is significantly worse on hybrids. Since the hybrid powertrain in question is comprised of a gasoline engine and an electric motor that's linked to a battery, some say that both components may be adversely affected by the chilly climate. To begin with, the hybrid battery functions best when temperatures are high because the chemical interaction between the battery and the hybrid motor is more efficient at that temperature. However, if the temperature is 20 degrees Fahrenheit or below, the battery in your car may not generate as much electricity because of the cold. Since the gas engine will have to work harder to compensate, more gas will be used. When the temperature drops below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, the fuel efficiency of a hybrid vehicle may drop by as much as 30 to 34%, as reported by fueleconomy.gov. It implies that the 50 mpg your Toyota Prius was receiving before will now be closer to the 33 mpg that's the norm for newer models. That's not terrible, but it's a major setback, all things considered. standard. Plus, there's this issue. Because the molecules in the air compress when it's cold, your car's tires might lose pressure in the winter. The low rolling resistance tires that contribute to a hybrid's fuel efficiency might be negatively impacted by a lack of pressure. But don't worry, we have a hack for it. If you live in an area where the temperature often drops below freezing, you may find that increasing the pressure in your car's tires improves gas mileage. That's a wrap for this video. Do you feel like the cons outweigh the pros? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.